Like they've said, if the drone comes over the police station,
it's coming over.
You'll get arrested, won't you?
No, I'll take you for lawful redress and I'll take it out your ass pocket as well as the...
It's standing outside a police station with a camera and a drone, doing nothing more dramatic than preparing for a flight, yet the reaction from officers is immediate and confrontational. Instead of asking a straightforward question or establishing what authority they're relying on, the conversation jumps straight to threats and demands. What follows is a tense exchange where simple questions about powers, legislation, and justification start exposing just how thin the officer's position actually is. And the more Turbinator keeps pressing for straight answers, the harder it becomes for the officers to explain why they stepped in at all.
Right, I'm the duty inspector. You don't mind telling me what you're doing?
Inspector.
Can you just go around the front of the building now? I'll speak to you.
Please. Yeah, I'll engage with you, but don't be aggressive like that.
Okay, well, don't. You must not look into the police station. The video inside the police station.
I wasn't videoing, but I was looking.
Is this on? Is it?
Well, I wasn't videoing.
Right. You do not film inside police stations,
please
right?
Don't speak to me like that. I'm not speaking to you like that.
Under legislation, okay?
An offence under legislation?
Yes, it is.
What legislation would that be?
It's a security offence, okay?
A security offence.
Right, just make
sure. You're being a bit fake there, Inspector.
Are you the gentleman who came earlier and asked to fly a drone over the police station?
I didn't ask. I said I'm gonna when I am gonna.
Right, okay. So I need to point out it's actually an offence under current legislation.
And what legislation would that be?
Right, okay. So it's an offence under the Air Traffic Management and Unmanned Aircraft Act of 2021.
No, it's not.
It is, okay.
No, it's not. Can you show me?
We've taken some legal guidance.
Can you show me?
I'm just going to tell you, okay?
Can you show me that legislation?
If you do that,
I am doing that.
I consider that a risk to the police station security.
I'm doing that.
If you continue to do that, I'll ask you to stop doing it, and if you don't do it, we'll seize your drone.
When the conversation shifts to the Air Traffic Management and Unmanned Aircraft Act 2021, that doesn't automatically make the situation unlawful. That legislation mainly deals with enforcement powers around drone misuse and airspace restrictions, not a blanket ban on flying near police buildings. For a drone flight to actually breach the rules, there has to be a defined restriction, such as a controlled airspace, flight endangering people or property, or ignoring Civil Aviation Authority requirements. None of that is demonstrated here. And when Turbinator asks the obvious follow-up, show the rule you're relying on, the inspector declines. If the authority were clear, producing it would end the argument instantly.
You will commit an offence.
I'll tell you what, Inspector.
Under that legislation. I'm just explaining what the legislation is.
Listen.
Okay.
If you can show me that legislation, then obviously I won't do it.
I've just explained to you what it is.
Show me.
We've taken some guidance from our legal department.
Yeah.
I've just explained to you.
Well, you better take some more. You better take some more then. So if you can't show me that legislation, I will do that.
I'm telling you, right?
I am doing that.
You'll be asked to stop doing it. If you don't do it, we will seize it under section 19 of the legislation.
No,
you will commit offences.
No, you won't. If you do anything that's unlawful, right, I will.
Well, yeah, I would expect that you would.
I would, but I don't want to do that, Inspector. All I want to do.
Not film inside police stations.
I wasn't.
Because it's well, that looks like it's on, and you.
Well, how does that look like it's on? Is the screen on? Is the screen on, Inspector?
Just see a red light.
A red light? You can't see no red light because it's not on.
Well, you mustn't do that because it's a threat to our security in the police premises.
Okay, listen.
It's an official government building, you know that.
Listen, it's a public building.
Do you mind if I take you on in, please?
Yeah, Darren.
Darren what?
Darren, that's as far as we're going.
Well, okay, Darren, well, obviously, if you are found to be committing any offences, we'll need your full details. Otherwise, we couldn't deal with it by way of summons, you would have to be arrested.
I'd expect that.
Turbinator even offers a simple resolution. Show the rule and he'll comply. That should have been the easiest moment in the interaction, because if the authority exists, producing it settles the issue instantly. Instead, the inspector pivots to threatening seizure under Section 19. That power isn't a general right to take a drone whenever officers feel uneasy. It allows seizure only where there are reasonable grounds to believe the drone has been used in committing a relevant offence. That means a breach has to exist first. The inspector then shifts the focus to Turbinator filming with his body camera, suggesting the building's status means it shouldn't be recorded. But a police station being a government building doesn't create a ban on filming it from a place open to the public.
Well, at the end of the day, give me your full name.
At the end of the day.
Dan, will you give me your full details?
Will you give me your full details?
Yes, I will. I'm Inspector Garney from Northumbria Police, Hexham Police Station.
Okay.
7781 is my first number.
Okay.
Right?
What's your date of birth?
No, you don't
What's
be silly.
Your address?
Don't be silly.
Well, what do you want mine for?
I'm explaining to you, right? You will breach current legislation.
I will not.
Which we've taken
legal the legislation inside out.
Please don't do it.
I'm doing it.
If you do it,
I will do it.
We'll ask you to stop.
I'm definitely doing it. Now you told me that because I know you're lying. I know you're lying.
And if you don't allow us to seize it, you will be arrested because we won't be able to deal with it by way of summons.
Right.
Okay?
Listen, you seize it.
Please leave the building.
I'm not in the building.
Just leave the area.
What?
Okay.
What?
Well,
I thought me and you were having a pleasant conversation, weren't we?
with you.
Like, you're not being reasonable. We're having a conversation. You're telling me to leave.
Right? You are a threat to the security of this building.
And how do you work that out,
recording
Inspector?
Drone footage. So I'm telling you not to do it.
Inspector, listen.
I'm explaining the legislation that prevents you from doing it.
There is no legislation that tells me that I cannot fly over here. The only way I couldn't fly over here, right, is if it was an FTR, right? I couldn't then. If there was a CTR, I still could, Darren, because of the class of drone that I've got.
More. Will you give me your full details, please?
Why?
The inspector then pivots to demanding Turbinator's personal details, despite never identifying a clear offence that would justify requiring them. Treating someone as a security risk doesn't make it so. There still has to be an objective basis for that conclusion. Turbinator pushes back by pointing out the actual framework that governs drone flights. If the location were under a flight restriction, FTR, he wouldn't be able to operate there at all. And if it were controlled airspace under a CTR, flights can still be lawful depending on the aircraft and altitude limits set by the Civil Aviation Authority. In other words, there are defined mechanisms that determine where drones can and cannot be flown, and none of them have been shown to apply here.
Tell me why, and I'll think about it.
Well, because I want to know who's on these premises, because I'm concerned that somebody turns up with, you know, a face covering like you. Like, why are you covering your face?
Do you know, I'll tell you now. Yes, I'll tell you why you covered my face, Inspector. Because I was looking in the window, right? Yeah. And when you come out, you came right into my space.
Yes,
now, I don't know if you've heard anything
because I don't like people looking at police stations who shouldn't be looking inside police stations.
Listen then.
Especially when I think they're filming.
Listen then.
Right, I've said all I'm going to say.
Oh, no, listen, let me finish. You'll ask me your question, man. Now, be polite, Inspector. I've listened to you. So, when I first came, I came into reception, right, to be reasonable and I tell you what my intentions are, right? So,
and I got that message, and in fairness, I was going to come speak to you.
Don't interject, please. I haven't interjected, Joe. Please let me finish, please. Please let me finish. No, I wasn't asked to leave. I said I'm going to go to the toilet because I had a bit of a bad stomach. But anyway, getting back to the point, right? If I was any threat to this police station, I could stand what? 3, 4, 5 miles away, and I could fly my drone over this police station. You just wouldn't have a clue where I was, Inspector.
Right,
so if I was a threat, I wouldn't come into the police station and explain out of courtesy and trying to be reasonable. I've even given you my first name. I don't have to, but to be reasonable, I have.
Another detail that seriously undermines the inspector's position is that Turbinator had already gone inside reception beforehand and openly explained what he planned to do. Someone posing a genuine security threat doesn't walk into the very building they supposedly threaten and announce their intentions first. The inspector knew that before coming outside, yet still approaches as if the situation has come out of nowhere. That choice says a lot. Instead of acknowledging the context, the interaction carries on as though the earlier conversation never happened. Turbinator even offers his first name voluntarily, something he isn't required to do, which shows he isn't hiding or being evasive. Yet the inspector presses on with the same line regardless.
I'm about to do my intentions. You might not like that as an individual, but that's not the law.
Well, it's not what you're going on about. It, Darren. It's a
please let me finish, Inspector. Please let me finish.
I've explained the legislation under which.
Can I speak to you, mate? Because he's just rude. He's just rude. He's just rude.
We've just I'm just telling you how it is.
You're not telling me, Inspector. You're just saying rude, man.
If you'd like to go, we've all got jobs to do.
The legislation, like you're saying there about Section 19, right? You're wrong, mate.
Okay.
You're totally wrong,
then you
bro.
can challenge Northumbria Police Legal Department.
But I don't want to do that.
Because that's
I don't want to have to do that, though.
Well, that's up to you. That's your prerogative.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I've told you,
I'm not here
you will not be permitted to fly the drone over this police station based on police station security.
I can fly it. I can fly it anywhere and look in, mate. Don't have to fly over.
I've just asked you not to do it. I've explained the legislation for you not to do it.
Right, explain the legislation again.
Consequences.
Legislation again.
Right, because it's a threat to the station security for you to fly the drone and record that drone.
And that tells me that in Section 19, does it?
No, Section 19 is the offence. It gives us the power to seize the drone if you don't.
Right.
At one point, the inspector tells Turbinator to move along because officers have real work to get back to, which is an odd argument considering the entire interaction only exists because they chose to come out and escalate it in the first place. Nobody dragged them into the situation, they created it. When the conversation circles back to the lack of a clear offence, the inspector doesn't concede ground or clarify the authority he's relying on. Instead, he brushes it aside with the suggestion that Turbinator can take it up with the legal department later. That response says a lot. If the position was solid, it wouldn't need to be deferred to someone else after the fact. This links perfectly to what I'm about to share. I've got some big news. I'm partnering with a platform that honestly couldn't come at a better time in the UK. It's called Underwater. Because whether people like it or not, the legal landscape in this country is changing. Powers are broad, enforcement is active, new laws are coming quickly, and most people only realise what they don't know when they're already in the situation. Under is built so you understand the system you live under at all times. Inside the platform are over 100 fully interactive legal guides. Not just reading, you make decisions and see how those decisions affect your legal safety, escalation risk, and evidence position. StopBot is built directly into the platform, a policing-focused AI designed specifically around UK law. It breaks down powers and thresholds clearly, and in guide mode, it works like a teacher, expanding on the guides and reinforcing your understanding so you're not second-guessing yourself. There's also a daily UK policing newsfeed focused on real activity, incidents, operational shifts, and crime, including exclusive deep dive articles breaking down police misconduct cases, upcoming legislation, and what it all actually means. And then there are the protection tools, a live drone safety map with NOTAM awareness, a civil claim checker to assess potential liability, a police complaint generator, a SAR request builder, and more rolling out. This isn't built around outrage. It's built because policing in the UK is at an all-time low, and people need to stay informed, prepared, and protected. It launches soon at an affordable monthly price. If you want to see it properly when it goes live, the Underwatch channel is linked down below in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
I won't do it. If you can explain that legislation, Inspector, I won't do it. If you can't, then I'll...
He already has done.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't.
He has.
What's your number?
2203.
When did you leave school?
Are you trying to be funny?
I'm just asking a question. When did you leave school?
Nothing to do with you.
The Air Traffic Management and Unmanned Aircraft Act 2021,
yeah,
right?
Right.
So, part of that legislation makes it an offence for an individual to fly a drone over a police station if there is a perceived threat to the security of that station. I am the duty inspector. I perceive that to be a threat to the security of this police station. Therefore, if you could do it, you'll be asked not to do it under that legislation. If you don't stop doing it, we will seize that drone under section 19 of the legislation.
What
and
legislation?
If you don't allow of what I've just explained to you,
the unmanned aircraft?
Yes, right. And if you don't allow us to do it,
you're wrong, you know.
You'll be arrested.
You're wrong, you know.
Right. And if you don't give your details so that you can be summoned, you'll also be arrested because we can't deal with the bad.
Well, I'll already be arrested, won't I?
All right.
The inspector eventually leans on his rank as the justification, suggesting that because he's the duty inspector, his perception of a threat is enough to activate the powers he's talking about. That isn't how statutory authority works. Legislation doesn't operate on personal perception alone. There has to be an objective basis that can be articulated and justified. Being the senior officer on scene doesn't expand the scope of the law, it simply means you're responsible for applying it correctly. When arrest starts being mentioned repeatedly in the same breath as a vague feeling that someone might be a threat, it highlights the gap between the seriousness of the power. Arrest isn't meant to be a pressure tool to secure compliance.
So I'm just explaining now. I don't know how much more I can say.
Okay, what's your inspector what? Sorry. Just for the record, Inspector Tyrant features. I think you look a bit like a tyrant.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what.
Thanks very much. I'll tell you one thing. We might get 1 or 2 calls if you walk around Hexham like that because people don't normally go around with their face covered.
Well, then you'll know, won't you, that it's me.
Right.
Won't you? And I'm worried about my. So don't try and threaten me, mate.
I'm just telling you how it is.
Is there any law of me walking about like this, Inspector?
Not at the moment.
Right then. So if you get a call, I'd expect you to tell them then, wouldn't you?
Any threat, harassment or alarm to anybody, then
walking down the street?
Right.
Would walking down the street with this on? No, because I don't want to do that.
We're done.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to cause anyone any harassment. So me walking down the street with this on, would that be a criminal offence,
I'm going to
Inspector?
ask you to leave the premises
Exactly.
now, okay?
I didn't think it would be, would it?
Can you leave it?
No, I am going to stand over there, or I might stand a mile away, I might stand 2 miles away, and I'm going to fly my drone over your police station, like it or not. That's what's happening, mate.
Like they've said, if the drone comes over the police station,
it's coming over.
You'll get arrested, won't you?
No.
Well, we'll see you very soon
So
then,
we'll see you
won't we?
shortly,
So I'm getting arrested if it goes over the police station, am I now?
You've been told. I've told you not to do it.
When the earlier arguments fail to stick, the focus shifts again, this time to Turbinator covering his face and the suggestion it could amount to harassment, alarm, or distress. That stretches the concept well beyond what it's meant for. Covering your face isn't an offence, and public order legislation still requires behaviour that is threatening or abusive, not simply something an officer dislikes during an encounter. The timing makes it look less like a genuine concern and more like another attempt to find a reason to justify the pressure already being applied. Then a sergeant arrives and immediately backs the inspector without first establishing what has actually happened, escalating things straight to talk of arrest, reinforcing the position rather than questioning whether the original grounds made sense.
So I'm getting arrested if the drone goes over. You said you're going to tell me to bring it down? Make it mind.
He told you not to do it.
Just don't do it.
Under what law? I don't common law me, mate.
Right.
And I'm doing it.
Okay.
Right? And you know what it is, Inspector? Not only will I take Northumbria, I'll take you as well for lawful redress, mate. Believe me, I'll take you for lawful redress, and I'll take it out your ass pocket as well as the Chief Constable's if you do anything that's unlawful to me. Okay. Simple as that, mate. Alright. Yeah?
I've explained to you, I've been reasonable.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You're trying to blackmail me. You're trying to blackmail me, mate. Well, get yourself in there. I didn't ask you to come out, did I?
Well, you go away from this police station.
No.
Because this is our police station.
There's no chance to say I can't forgive you.
We like look after our...
There's no chance to say I can't forgive you. Is there?
Okay.
Is there any chance to say I can't forgive you? Am I breaking the law by being here? If I am, I'll leave.
You're not. But I've just...
Inspector.
You know, our conversation is finished, isn't it?
No. Who dictates that? You dictated when it starts. Well, I'll dictate when it finishes then.
Do not walk back up to that glass again, because I got the impression that you were about to record in this police station. Please go away. Right. Please don't look into the police station.
Is that against the law?
Right. We consider that to be a threat against our security.
That's not against the law, man. How are you, Inspector? Let's be serious, mate. I don't want to leave.
Just let us get on with our
work. You know what? I don't want to leave on bad terms, right?
Well,
me looking through that window, right?
I never wanted to start on them. I just don't like people.
I know, so let's try and sort ourselves out. I know, and I don't want to do
alarming
that.
Here,
Inspector,
you see.
That is not my intention.
That's appreciated.
But one question before you go, please. Me looking through that window, glass, is that an offence?
It's not what normal people do.
Oh, what's normal, man, Inspector? Right? You can't get arrested for not doing something what you class is not normal, Inspector, man.
Okay.
If you don't like members of the public speaking to man, then get a different job that doesn't deal with the public, mate.
Okay, Darren, thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay,
yes,
just a bit of friendly advice and all that. Yeah, see you later, mate. How mad's that? How mad's that?
What stands out in the closing moments is how the tone of the interaction contrasts with the actual outcome. The language used throughout the encounter suggested serious consequences: seizure, arrest, security concerns, yet none of it materialised. When Turbinator points out there are no signs restricting access, and even the inspector concedes no law is being broken by his presence, the entire premise of the confrontation loses its footing. Another detail worth noting is how the conversation kept shifting as each explanation struggled to hold up. One moment it was drone legislation, then security concerns, then filming, then public order. That constant movement matters because it shows the issue wasn't a clearly defined offence from the start. Instead, it became a search for something, anything that could justify the original approach. In the end, Turbinator simply walks away, and the inspector returns inside the station, leaving behind a situation that began with heavy warnings and finished with none of them carried through. For all the talk about powers and threats to security, the encounter closes quietly because there was nothing solid to enforce. For something that started with so much authority and certainty, it ends with the officers having nothing to show for it at all. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to support the channel and help keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight. I'm the Audit Assessor, this was episode 20, see you guys later.